Well, hello everybody, and welcome back to what I believe is part 4 in our propagation with air layering type mini-series thing that I've got going on here. That means today we are returning to the gooseberries. Now, these were my first air layering attempt, so in theory, since the red currants came after this, right, in theory, these should be well rooted. I also have a proper just regular layering attempt going on with this same little gooseberry bush because I want tons of them. So we'll check on that today, and yeah, hopefully I'll have some new plants that I can, well, figure out where I'm going to put around here. So yeah, let's check on the project. So why do I want these weird little gooseberries? Well, I tell you what. These ones have gone a little over, but see how dark purple those get? A lot of folks tell me that these are ripe when they're green. That's just not the case with this particular variety. Sure, maybe with a lot of others out there, but when these are green, they have a very interesting, sort of very tart apple taste to them. But when they get nicely ripe, they have a unique flavor that's sort of kind of all their own, really. So yeah, I want lots of these. And we're going to step back for a second. This is a very low level bush. I mean, it's probably 5 years we've been out here, 6 years, maybe 7 years old even. And this is not even halfway between my knee and my hip. So this is not a huge spatial commitment in the garden. But to get a lot of gooseberries, I'm going to need more bushes. So I'm going to pause for a second and munch on this berry, and then we will check in the tinfoil at how that air layering attempt came along. Now, I do apologize for the wind today. The fancy pants mic that I've been using has dead batteries, and I've forgotten to get new ones. Oh, I hope this works, because I didn't want to open. Alright. Well, it's Christmas time, isn't it? Let's open that package up, see what we can find. Now, did I mention in previous videos that gooseberries are sharp little buggers? Oh, very thorny. They draw us in with these delicious fruit. Oh, I'm getting mocked by the chickens. Oh, do you see that? Do you see what I see? Look at that. That looks super promising. That looks so promising. I'm going to grab my clippers and just snip this off before we unwrap the rest of that. Just use the ice fishing sled as a bench here. Oh, I am so excited. I mean, look how much plant matter there is on top of that, right? If I had tried to plunk that into the ground and root it that way, I'm going to just say that would never have worked. But I really should be doing this with a tripod in 2 hands. But of course, honestly, oops, seem to be losing some of my dirt clump there. Honestly, I was kind of expecting it to have not worked, because most of my experiments don't necessarily work. But that is some delicate root material, so I'm going to put down the camera once again so I don't rip any of that off. So very similar to the red currant cutting that we did this way, it's not a huge amount of root mass. So this will probably need to be pruned back a little bit once I plant it into some ground, and I'm going to be getting on that right quick. But yeah, I'll cut it down so it's got a little less plant to try and support, but at the same time, all that green there, that's going to catch solar energy, pump it into those roots. So, oh, I don't know, maybe I'll give it a few days and I'll wait on some comments. But right now, that definitely needs a planter and some soil. And then we will take a look at how the just regular layering went. So I am just using that same old co-op potting soil here that I plunked that red currant into because it's cheap and it seems to work. It doesn't look like a great quality of soil though, does it? Anywho, so we're going to plunk our precious little baby in there. This planter I scavenged from Shocks's leftover fairy garden pile. I think she got some lilacs? Lilies? I don't know. I don't know what half those plants are, but I appreciate them. And actually, we're making a pollinator strip out of some of those in the main vegetable garden area, just to kind of keep those bees satisfied. Now I'm going to need to straighten this up and pat it down, Again, a two-handed thing. Well, maybe. Oh, I don't know. Mr. Bear is not left-handed, so this is always fun trying to do stuff on the camera. But I want to share because people want to see me do stuff, and that's fair. So, ta-da. And just like that, we have another gooseberry plant. I mean, sure, I say just like that, but the process did take a couple of months. At the same time, it wasn't really all that hard. Right, what we do, go back to the first video if you want to see what I did, but basically, you peel the bark, you expose it, you wrap some dirt around it, you wait. If you're lucky, it'll throw roots. I've checked on the red currant, it had roots. Checked on the gooseberry, it had roots. Still waiting on that Saskatoon over by the loudmouth chickens. But that will be a video for another day, because I'm pretty sure it's going to rain soon. So, I want to check in this mess here, because this is the old-fashioned layering attempt. But to do that, I gotta just breathe deep because it's really tangled in there, so I've got to snip it free. Kind of suggests there might be roots in there, but I don't know until I know. Well, there's one. Yes, there's another. That's kind of attached. Alright, the idea is this should just come out. Okay, so far so good. That's a little on the long and scraggly side, isn't it? So let's see. Oh, berries. We pause for a berry ravaging moment. Yep, those are just so delightful, and I don't know any way to describe the flurry. I don't know any way to describe the flavor. Use your English words, Mr. Bear. Other than it's gooseberry flavored. Okay, tragically, that was a branch to nowhere. Yeah, that stinks. Maybe I will take that downstairs for some aquaponic clothing attempts. And this is just a weed. Solar light's probably not growing roots. That'd be fun. Okay, we appear to have two distinct possibles for planting. Now I'm just going to be rude here, because if it didn't work, it should come right up, and if it did work, oh, that's not coming up, is it? Alright, boots to the base, Mr. Bear. What do we got? Oh, that's clumpy. Oh, that's... I probably did some damage to those roots. So maybe I should dig the other one up a little more nicely. But that sure looks like a success with just plain layering. What do I got? I got this weird fork thing. Come on. Up for daddy. Alright, camera down. Well, one broken random kitchen implement later, it seems like I did, oh, snap, crackle, pop, go the knees, quite a number on the roots for that first one, because as the dirt was shaken out, this all seems to be root mass, and this kind of looks like it's actually two plants. So when I get to planting those, I'll find out about that. So we're looking at least one, and then here, looking at the base, it could be two. I'm going to have to look into that a little bit better. I'm not sure I want to take this one too far apart though, because whatever damage I did to the roots there. So possibly two or more. And then this little guy here, number 3, got quite the root mass on that actually. So that's kind of exciting. So we've got at least 3, probably 4, maybe even 5 gooseberries out of the regular just layering technique, which was as simple as filling that black planter. Now it looked like landscaping compost that was coming out of there with, so just garbage compost, and I plunked it over here. I grabbed some of these longer branches, laid them on there, dug them in, walked away. And now I have even more gooseberries with which to play. Delightful, delightful. I only found 2 more planters, not quite sure what Shox has done with all of hers. So I think that little tiny one is going to end up keeping company with our red currant here to see how they do as close companion plants. And they're probably going to end up planted in the back fence line together anyway, so that will actually be really convenient if their roots just tangle up right off the hop. But for now, I need to get these into some soil, and I would have to say that has been a success. So huzzah for more gooseberries, and purple, delicious, juicy, oh, gooseberries. Oh, there's another one. That sucker's toast. Alright, much love to you all, and yeah, hopefully we'll get that aquaponic update sooner or later. Not much going on in the regular garden except for a couple of delicious ears of corn that we have harvested out of that, so I did get pollination. We'll talk about that next week. But yeah, I want to get this done before the rain starts again, so huzzah, I need to get planting. Much love everybody, and have yourselves a wonderful week ahead.